What's up, everyone? Good evening. Welcome to Carpo's channel, and this is the solstice video. I just randomly turned on my camera here, walked in, so I hope I can come up with a video and a subject. The subject today is the solstice, and I think I've made a solstice video every year since pretty much I started YouTube, so this has got to be at least my 5th or 6th solstice video at Christmas. And to celebrate, I am drinking I made some fresh espresso with a little bit of Kahlua, a small bit of Jägermeister, and a little bit of cream, and it's in this glass that I got from Blaze. I just love this glass. It's got a flower of life on the bottom. So, I thought it would be a good prop for the video. Gifts are amazing. This time of year we want to give away everything. It's the time of year when everybody says, oh my god, I don't have enough money and I can't buy everybody all the stuff I want. Oh, I didn't shop quick enough. At least those of us who are last minute people. And I do my best. This year I've been going through quite a bit of stuff in the personal realm, so I've kind of like detached from the holiday and let it go. In other words, all that matters to me is family and friends, and having the connection between all these people that kind of makes life worth living and bearable. And every time this holiday comes around, I always think of the pagan traditions, the pagan roots, which brought Christmas about. The idea that, it still amazes me that in today's world a lot of Christians don't know that the 21st, being the solstice, is the shortest day of the year. And then there's 3 days of darkness, which means the 3 days of the sun being the lowest, and on the 25th the sun literally begins to rise again, and a new year is born, if you will. But the solstice is the point when we have the shortest day of the year. So tonight is the shortest day of the year, the longest night of the year, and of course that would be celebrated and revered. Not the longest night of the year, but rather the fact that we're returning and coming back to our our roots, our being able to plant seeds again in the summer and have harvests for the winter and everything. I gotta change this. It's I've got this little gingerbread man that I made. My wife made gingerbread last night, and we cut out these little men, and I thought it'd be a good prop for a video about the solstice. Delicious. For me, the holidays, pardon me, are about doing the best to get family together, cope with each other's insecurities and ups and downs, and say, hey, it's okay. We're here as a family together. We are here to, overlook the bullshit for the rest of the year. It's really not about presents and gifts and all that crap. We know that. The corporate world loves the industrialized bullshit version of Christmas. To me, Black Friday is one of the biggest travesties of mankind. I mean, it's almost worse than war and pestilence, because it's something that can be helped. It's something that happens in a civilized, educated society. War happens over all kinds of ignorant reasons, and there's a lot of starvation in places where, a lot of world issues that are due to circumstance. But for here in America, we're willing to go out and leave the day after. Basically, there's 2 holidays in the wintertime. We get, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and people want to spend Thanksgiving worrying about when they're going to go out the next morning and go shopping. It's just mind-blowing to me. I don't get it. But I do get it at the same time. It's programming. We see it on TV, and they think that's what we do as humans, Gingerbread's good. We as humans forget that we don't know shit. And we get wrapped up in patterns, other people's patterns. This happens through religion, where we get wrapped up in a Bible or a belief system that somebody else created. It happens in New Age beliefs too. It even happens in atheism. You know, um, you know, oh, these guys sound like they know what they're talking about. It happens in politics too. You know, right or left, get pulled to one side or the other, and being the person who's in the middle. You know, I don't even like to think of myself in the middle, but rather just an individual who has my own thoughts about things, and therefore I don't fit into a particular team or group. I'm the kind of guy who has to fend for myself when I'm in a conversation, because I don't agree with anyone else in the sense of just agreeing to agree. I listen to the statements being made and say, well, this is how I feel about it. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we need a lot of, but it's a thought that's been on my mind lately is, does the individual know better than the group? And of course not, because the group knows better. That's why we have democracy. We can't know all the details about even ourselves to make an actual accurate assessment of how valuable we are as a person or what our values are like. If a lot of people are telling us we're complete assholes and we think we're the greatest thing, it's worth considering what others are saying. And that works in the opposite direction. You know, if we have a low self-esteem but everyone around us is telling us, hey, you're a great person, why do we have a low self-esteem? It's almost a defensive mechanism so we don't have to fight against ego. And there's nothing wrong with ego and pride as long as it's used properly. But I won't even go into that, you know, that's a particular detail for another video. I like to think that as a human I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. I don't understand things any better than anyone else. Well, I mean, there's certain aspects of life that I understand on my terms and my reality, and I know that it's my reality, that it's not anybody else's. But I also know that people tell me, hey man, your video really helped me, and it helped me see things differently. And honestly, the only thing that keeps me going, there's two things that I make videos for. One is my ability to get out the thoughts I have, and amidst that, I'll run across ideas that I wasn't even aware I knew, or that I had thought about. My subconscious will come out in my conversation making videos. So that's one component of why I do this. The second one is indeed feedback from other people, and hearing that rare instance where somebody says, hey man, this video really helped me overcome a hard time in my life. It's not about what I said or what the video was about or any of that. It's just about a person hearing the right thing at the right time. And I do believe in synchronicity. I do believe that the universe sets things up a certain way. I have no idea how it works. I have no idea how divinity works, how evolution really works, or why we're evolving. I understand the study of chaos and organization, and I still don't get it. I still don't understand why fractals are what they are, why we have these same repeating patterns through nature, and the Fibonacci sequence, the ratios that we have, where we're trying to grasp onto something. And people may say, well, none of that matters. It does matter, because people want to understand our place in the universe. It's a desperate desire to know. And the more that we can see divinity reflected in mere existence, the more that we can all agree on aspects of life. In other words, we may not agree on which religion is correct, but we can all agree that certain numbers and ratios reflect certain patterns we see in nature, right? The only thing that's holding us back from that is ignorance, which means not knowing these things, or not researching or paying attention to them. So it leaves a lot of people in the extreme New Age category, where they're willing to believe any hogwash about quantum non-locality and, you know, bullshit New Age beliefs, and then a whole lot of people who are completely atheist and against any beliefs. And then the people in the middle who say, hey, there's something going on here. There's definitely an energy. There's a bigger picture. But let's stop pretending that we understand it. The best we can do is come together to celebrate it. And that's what today is. The celebration of that understanding that we have that nature works in cycles, and that we are about to move into spring where everything can start to grow again. And in the West, we might be like, I don't give a shit, you know, I could have winter all the time. I got McDonald's delivery now. But for those of us who don't eat shitty fast food and who don't thrive on the bullshit and chaos, the people who enjoy the simple things like a flower, paying attention to the seasons and the rebirth is something that's very useful to me personally. I don't know about you, but life is amazing. Existence is amazing. How can you not every day be amazed that you exist? And I think we all are, but you can't just sit and think about it all the time. Wow, we exist, whoop-de-doo, you know? It's kind of like along the same lines of saying, wow, did you know, man, that the universe is like totally an illusion, dude, and like atoms are really empty space, so therefore really there's nothing at all, and we're living in the Matrix, and a flat earth, and we're living under a dome, and NASA's been lying to us. All this is just complete nonsense that doesn't help us. That goes back to what I said in my previous video, where I said it's about how does it serve you. We get often confused in trying to defend certain aspects of what we believe or want to believe or think, whether we think we're being lied to or told the truth. Does it serve you is all that matters. Are you benefiting from this knowledge or lack of knowledge, or ignorance or paying attention? I can't really say much more about it. I think most people understand that on a fundamental level, that if it doesn't help you in your life, move on to something else. So, when it comes to the holidays, a lot of people don't celebrate the holidays because they're so tied up in the idea that it's religious or somehow, you know, oh, well, I'm going to resist this. To me, it's about saying, well, everybody else has the day off. I'm going to take the day off, and I'm going to enjoy it with my family. And I'm going to enjoy the few days before Christmas and try to understand the meanings behind the metaphors and the archetypes, but not look too deep to where I'm all wrapped up in the occult and bullshit knowledge. I've come to terms with all of it. I understand what enlightenment means to me, and I don't give a shit what it means to anyone else. And that's pretty much my life. So that's maybe part of the reason why I make these videos, in hopes that other people who are out there can come forward and to themselves in their own minds and say, you know, I don't need more. I'm happy where I'm at. I can be satisfied with little. We don't have to always be yearning towards some great progress, whatever you want to call it. You look at society and say, what is everyone rushing to? Where are they all going? You know? Where are people heading to? What is with all these inventions? Has anyone really thought it through and said, oh, wait, oh, yeah, I don't know. We assume that a person who lived before us for 70, 80 years, who had a passion, is somebody who was of novel character and value, so we might as well do that too. Let's move forward and carry these ideas forward and continue on. And just now we're starting to see the folly in our ways. It's only now that I really almost can look back at the Mayan calendar, which was based on Baktunians. It wasn't the end of a time, or the end of, there wasn't supposed to be an apocalypse. It was the end of a Baktun, or an era, and it coincides with the 26,000 year cycles that we find in ice core samples and in rock samples on the Earth, that every so often we go through these cycles of evolution, cycles of change, something like the Cambrian explosion. You may have heard of that. Times when evolution just takes off in one area for some reason. Nobody really knows why. And my belief is, I have my own theory on it, not that it matters, but that we need to be able to embrace these evolutionary measures when they happen, and we seem to be sitting right now in the 2012 realm at some sort of a threshold. And if you look around at the world, you see that you don't have to be spiritual, religious, anything to see that there is a huge change going on in the world right now. So you don't have to define it to anybody, you don't have to prove it to anyone. All you have to do is convince yourself. Because when people talk about faith, when Christians are out there professing faith, and meanwhile trying to convince everyone else, I don't believe them. I don't believe they have faith. I don't believe they really understand what they're talking about. True faith comes from within. It means that you are comfortable with who you are, whatever you believe, and that you understand that we're here for a limited time, regardless of what we believe happened before or after. Here we are, and we have to live these lives as human beings and celebrate while we can. Time goes by fast, people. Time goes by really fast. I guess that's all I got for now. I could go on, but I'm probably making this video quite long, and that's fine too. Maybe I'll make another one, but I wish you all the best of luck in your holiday endeavors, whatever it may be. I'll be making some more videos talking about New Year's pretty soon, because that's always another time of change and renewal. Even though it may appear to be an insignificant human calendar event, it really is a starting over after the solstice. So even if you're not a person who believes in man-made calendars, you can at least see what's happening in the celestial realm. You don't have to take it into some astrological realm, but if you want to, you can. So, peace and love and all that shit. Harmony. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a good holiday.